so excited to talk about dreams today. This has been a long-awaited episode. It's gonna be a really good one. I feel like I say that every time, so I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. And for those of you watching on YouTube, you're gonna notice a different angle. And that's because I've tried to record. I got 3 minutes into the podcast twice, and the tripod just kept dropping. Laura's already acting up. Just to make my life easier, we're gonna record from this angle, so I apologize about the switch up here, but I hope that that's okay with everyone. A few things I wanted to mention before we dive into it. We got the most questions ever for this episode, so if you asked a question, please stay till the end just to make sure that it is answered for you. In regards to questions, so if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll know that a few days before I record or the Sunday prior, I will put a question box to collect questions on almost all episodes. Please put your questions in that question box. I know sometimes you guys will DM me if you want to include more detail. I am notorious for forgetting about those DMs. I'll read them, I'll respond and say I'll answer it, and then I notoriously forget. Especially now being pregnant, my brain's just not functioning the same. So please make sure all questions go in the question box, just so I can guarantee that they'll be answered for you. Secondly, I noticed 2 more reviews come in. Thank you so much. All I want is for this podcast to just be spread to the masses and share Laura's wisdom, and your reviews really help me do that. They don't go unnoticed. Same with your DMs. I appreciate it greatly. And if you do feel the need to provide feedback, maybe there's something that you don't like about the podcast or you'd wish to see, you could feel free to leave that in a review. I'm very, very open to that. I also put a Google Doc in the show notes below for any feedback at all. I want this to be the podcast that you guys want to listen to. It feels good to listen to. The audio's good. The video's good. Probably mine is today. All the things. So any improvements I can ever make for you guys, I'm all ears. I'm very open to that feedback. Lastly, when talking about dreams, the conversation of people who have crossed over and their relation to your dreams comes up. And I really have a feeling we're going to talk about that today. So if that is triggering to you at all, please use your discretion and maybe not listen to this episode. I want to be very sensitive to the fact that people grieve differently, and hearing that correlation may not feel comfortable to you, or it may feel really comforting. I don't know, and I don't want to assume that it's going to be comforting for everyone. So if that does not feel good to you, then this episode may not be for you. All right, let's dive in. I'm honestly tempted to just start with your questions because they were so good. And it's funny because I rarely read the questions before. I tried to just do it live and on the dot, but I cheated a little bit. And I'm glad I did, because you guys have a good vocabulary. Some of those words I was like, I gotta Google that shit. So I'm glad that I did that. So I didn't have to distract you guys on this episode. But let me get a little bit out of Laura first, because they're giving me chills right now. So let's pull Laura forward, and then we're going to answer. And I also want to share how I see dreams as a channeler. So buckle in, guys. This is going to be fun. All right. Give me a moment. If you're not watching the video, I'm just going to pause for a second and let Laura step forward. So many things about dreams. So we're giving Gabrielle face chills right now. And if you're not watching the video, it's on the left side of her face. This is a very unique place for her to get chills. So we want to emphasize that as a big emphasis to what we are about to say. We communicate with you deeply through your dreams. So when you are dreaming, your subconscious is activated. And the release. The fact that so many of you remember your dreams, and we sneak peeked with Gabrielle the questions that you asked, so many of you remembering your dreams is just a massive sign all around. You remember normally about 1% to 2% of the dreams that you ever have. We are constantly communicating with you through your subconscious mind. And here's why. 95% of your reality in the human experience that you are all experiencing is manifested through your subconscious. We understand that in the human experience, and we've learned this through Gabrielle, it is hard, quotations, to get access to your subconscious. Humans say. Humans say it's hard to get back there. We say if you sit and you meditate, you're in it. And we want to meet you all where you are at. So we will humor you, and we will say it's hard to reach your subconscious mind. Now, almost all of your fears and limiting beliefs and so many other things that are no longer serving you are sitting in that subconscious. How do they get there? Your subconscious is an absolute sponge, especially in your young years. So from 0 to 7 years old, your subconscious is absorbing everything around you. Everything. So for those of you who have little babies, we deeply encourage you to speak kind words to them always, because their subconscious is the biggest sponge ever at that age, from 0 to 1 year old. But from 0 to 7 is when your mind, in the human age, of course, is when your mind is absorbing everything. So you could be in the grocery store as a 5-year-old and you could hear the cashier talking about their financial woes. You absorb that. And your subconscious says money is scary, right? And so that doesn't leave your mind, another release, ooh, 2 there, until you are aware of it. And you likely don't become aware of it until you kickstart a healing journey, because because you're not taught to. From Gabrielle's experience in public school, she was never taught about the subconscious mind, never encouraged to meditate, anything like that. So we don't know how schooling is at this day and age. And we'll learn as Gabrielle's little one goes throughout school, through her life. We're there with her every single moment of her life. So we'll see as her little one goes through school when the time comes. But you're not encouraged to be exploring this subconscious of yours, where if we could get you to jump back there and sweep everything out and clear out all cobwebs, oh my goodness, your life would increase drastically. Drastically. And so for those of you who don't regularly meditate, who don't deeply meditate often, regularly, daily, we're really going to come to you in your dreams, because we care about you so much. And when we say we mean your intuition, your spirit guides, etc., your angels, however you want to say it. We need to communicate with you somehow, some way. We'll send you signs. Sometimes that doesn't do the trick. So we play out a specific scenario in your dream to help you recognize the fear that is holding you back. We really want to emphasize that. 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, your dreams are not literal. Now, if you are an open channel, and in human words, Gabrielle would say, if you are psychic or have some sort of channeling gifts, there are times where your dreams can be literal, but it's very rare. It's very rare. For most of you, almost all of you listening to this, the dream that we show you isn't in the literal sense. It's to help paint the picture of why your body's in fight or flight, of what your body is trying to protect you from. So a lot of times, let's say you have as they say in the human word, scary dream, or perhaps a nightmare or something just terrifying, your whole body, you're waking up with a fast heartbeat, you may be out of breath, maybe you tried to scream in your sleep and it was jolting to your body. Your body is jolted. That is your nervous system working in conjunction with your subconscious. And when it comes to, there was a release, as Gabrielle was saying it, as it comes to this clearing journey, healing journey, manifestation journey, whatever you want to call it in human terms, it's not just in your conscious mind. The conscious mind honestly makes up about 2% of this journey. It is your subconscious, which we're talking about now, and your nervous system. All 3 must be in a beautiful union for you to be in a full state of alignment for these big manifestations to come through. That is something we work very hard on together through Gabrielle and her words, and also in her membership. That's why we created it, was to help you get all three of those states into a state of alignment so that you can call everything forward. They have to be in alignment, the three of those, the conscious, subconscious, and nervous system, so that you have the space to call in this big manifestation. So when we always know what it is you're trying to call forward, we hear you loud and clear. All you have to do is ask once. All you have to do is think the thought once, and we know what you want. We are going to show you in any way we can what is blocking that from coming forward. And just from the quick glimpse that Gabrielle took at those questions last night, we were banging out the answers like that, which is why she shut her computer so she didn't forget. We had the answers like that. We see it so clearly. We understand that we do not speak your language. We get that. That's why we have Gabrielle here to communicate as much as possible in your words. We try. We do not speak your language. That's why we send you symbols. That's why we aren't literal as the humans say. That's why this isn't black or white. We do not speak your language because we aren't meant to. Because the magic that we send through, the mystery, the symbols, all of the things are meant for you to be in such a present state to be able to interpret, and very few in this human experience are. We're really eager to get to your questions. We're going to do that right now, actually, because we're getting distracted. So we're just very eager to get to your questions. So we're going to start with, we're going to go this route, which we know we do towards the end, but we're going to do it now because so much of our answers here, a lot of what we want to say is going to be used by good example through these questions. So here's a yawn. Oh my gosh. For all your nervous systems, mine included, I'm sure. First question. All right, it's me. I'm just going to hop in here because them reading questions, it's like, they don't. So with Laura doesn't speak our language. They like speak English terms, but I'm putting it into sentences. They give me like 4 or 5 words of the sentence and I have to like include the grammar in there. So I'm going to just spare us all and read these questions and then ask them for the answer. I repeatedly dream of visiting houses, apartments with many bedrooms, and I find different people in them. I'm searching for a place to sleep. There's different locations. What does all this mean? I just summarized your question there. So I'm going to, versus having Laura speak right through me, I'm going to, I was just going to say transcribe. I'm going to translate what they're saying. So you guys may notice sometimes I'll translate Laura. Sometimes I'll let them just speak through me. In the few minutes prior, they were speaking through me. I'm going to translate now. Just keep this as easy as possible. I'm just reading this again. Hold on. Hold on. I'm here, like, they're just saying, so Laura gets dramatic, okay? Laura gets freaking dramatic. They have a billboard, and with the words plastered across in massive lettering, safety. They're saying you're looking for a place of belonging, and there's a release. You're looking for a place where you feel like you belong, and where you belong safely. Let me see if I can get you anything else there. So many releases for you on this one. Part of what is blocking you in your journey is feeling like you belong. The safety part I'm going to put at the end. It's feeling like you belong. Did you as a kid feel like you were left out or just didn't belong? Did anybody in your life make you feel like you didn't belong? That feeling there was registered as unsafe in your body, particularly your nervous system. So your nervous system, guys, it has 2 settings, parasympathetic or sympathetic mode, fight or flight or the rest and digest, safe and unsafe. So I'll probably gonna use the word safety a lot, or unsafe. That's the part of your nervous system. The other part of feeling like you belong, that's your subconscious. Again, they marry very beautifully. So your nervous system has a feeling of unsafety because your subconscious has this belief that you do not belong. So in your dreams, you're trying to find, where do I belong? You're trying to find your thing. And now they're saying the word worth. So this is 100% tying back to worthiness. And here's your yawn for your nervous system. Oh my Lord. It is tying back to worthiness. So you're trying to search for where you belong because you want to feel worthy. Why do you feel like you don't belong where you are? That's what they want you to explore. Why do you feel like you do not belong where you are? The worthiness ties into this. Now, for whatever it is that you're specifically manifesting, for you to be in a state of alignment, this goes for everyone, guys, you must feel worthy and whole. Now, don't put too much pressure on that, right? But here's why you have to feel worthy and whole. Because that's how Lara sees you. That's how the universe sees you. Just because you're a soul having a human experience, you are worthy and whole. So when we operate, whether it's a conscious or subconscious belief that we're not worthy, we need to prove ourselves, we need to find a place to belong, there's vibrational disconnect. So I'm going to leave you with that. I feel like I could keep going and going and going, but I'm going to leave you with that so don't overload too much. And I really want you to sit on that question. All right, next question. Since I was a child, I had a dream that I was standing alone in a huge crowd and the crowd was closing in on me. Oh my goodness. That must be so scary. All right, Lara, what do we got here, sister? Escape. So you're trying to find an escape route. Was there ever anything in your life that you wanted to escape but didn't feel like you could? And I keep seeing 7. And whenever I see numbers, I always go to age first. So this feels like when you were 7 years old, there was something where you wanted to escape and you couldn't. And this could, and I keep hearing kids' birthday party. It could be as simple as being a kid at a birthday party and you wanted to go home and your parents weren't there to pick you up in time. And so your body panicked a little bit. That was like, get me out. I want to escape. I want to go home. And your parent wasn't there in time, which is no fault to them. Maybe they were at the grocery store or something. But your body registered that as unsafe. And so that feeling is still swirling in your body that we wanted to escape this circumstance and we couldn't. That's scary. That's fear. Your nervous system was jacked up. It was lit up. And it hasn't forgotten that. So what I want you to do before bed tonight is just close your eyes and ask yourself, what part of me wanted to escape and why? Where has this shown up in my life? How many times? Because I hear you, subconscious. I see you. Thank you for showing me this in a dream. How can I make this version of myself feel safe and nurtured now? Ask your body that. Ask your intuition. And I know you're in the membership, so feel free to put that in the community too. Any answers you get, I'm happy to help you through that. So keep me posted on that. That is a good one. All of these are good ones. Next one. How do you understand the difference between an awkward dream and a premonition? So, oh my God, guys, please with these words. Premonition. I'm just like, I Googled this last night and you think I would remember and you'd also think I know what this word means. I do not. So I think people think I'm a lot more spiritual than I actually am. I'm definitely spiritual, but all these big spiritual words. Okay, a strong feeling that something's about to happen, especially something unpleasant. Oh my God, so like, oh geez, we don't want that. How to understand the difference between an awkward dream and a premonition. So what Laura's saying is, how often have the premonitions happened? How often have these big scary things that we think are going to happen, how often do they actually happen? There's a release. They're saying they very rarely happen, if ever. But I want you to connect the dots on that. I want you to consciously connect the dots of how many times have I had X or Y dream, and when has that actually literally ever happened? So that's number one. Let's see if they have anything else to say. They're just like, guys, sometimes you just dream random things. You could have watched a show when you were 10 years old, maybe like a murder mystery or something like scary like that. Your mind does not forget. This is why it's so important to be mindful of what you're consuming, because when you're 90, you're not going to forget something you watched when you were 5 years old. And yes, we don't consciously register it, but your subconscious is this massive library that does not forget. So these dreams that you had, where you're like, is this awkward or is this actually going to happen? It very well could be a scene that you watched in a movie like years and years and years ago, but it's your subconscious twist on it. Rarely, they're very adamant about the fact that the premonitions very rarely happen, if ever. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that gave you some peace of mind. Next one. In my dreams, I try to call someone, but my phone won't work, or I hit the wrong button and I physically cannot call them. Ooh. Did you have somebody in your life ever? This is in the past. I'm not going to the future here. This is to the past. Have you ever had anybody in your life unexpectedly die? Or unexpectedly just leave you and you never heard from them again? It feels like a deep-rooted fear of just like a cold turkey, like, stop with someone. Whether it be from their death, whether it be from a breakup, or just something like that. Just stop in the road, never hear from them again. And that was registered in your system as something that was very unpleasant, which obviously that sounds very unpleasant. Yeah, you fear your ability to be able to reach your loved ones. I want you to sit on that. Yeah. They just keep saying like fear of this ability to reach our loved ones, but it feels like this either happened to you, or you had a close friend who had somebody just pass away, or something like that, just pass away. Keep me posted on that. Next question. Do dreams about babies signify an upcoming pregnancy? This is a really good question. Let's see what Laura says. So, here's the yawn. It definitely can, but not necessarily, because you have free will, right? So, if you choose to have children in this lifetime and you are trying to call one forward actively, very well that could be your child communicating with you. Absolutely. If you do not want to call children forward, and that is not something that you ever want, and this child keeps connecting with you, then it could be in relation to your inner child. It could be so many things. So if you are not trying to call a child forward, please do not spiral and think that one's coming for you. You have free will, always, always, always. If you are trying to call a child forward, it can definitely be a very positive sign. Try to like communicate with them in the dream, Laura, saying like, what are they asking you? What do they want to, what do you want to hear from them? And what do they want to hear from you? I hope that was helpful. Okay, next question. What does it mean to have recurring dreams about exes? Oh, this is a good one. Okay, I yawn. Oh my gosh. These releases, guys. So many releases today. So, a lot of things. All right. First thing, I want to explain soul contracts. So, for those of you who may not know what a soul contract is, you have a soul contract with every single person you meet in your life. Your mailman, the trash man or woman, your teacher, your parents, your siblings, your partner, your kids. Your souls were meant to cross. You have something to teach them. They have something to teach you. Sometimes it's at a massive scale. Sometimes it's at a little tiny scale. Same with your exes. So what Laura's saying right now in this moment is that if you keep having recurring dreams about this person, it is likely that there's something in your soul contract that you have yet to close out. And what they mean by that is that there's something in your soul contract that you've yet to like integrate. You have yet to learn the lesson. I put lesson in quotations. Learn the lesson of. There's feelings that need to be processed, is what they are saying. There's feelings there that need processing from you. There's a lesson within this soul contract of yours that the universe and your intuition is really trying to bring up to the surface to resonate in your conscious mind so that you can have that aha moment and really ground in this journey with that person because it was purposeful, because they were here to teach you something, bring up something inside of you, ignite something inside of you, and that thing is just kind of lingering in your body, in your subconscious, and it's being asked to come forward to the conscious mind. So let's ask Laura how we do that, because if I was listening to this, I'd be like, how the hell do you do that? Let's see. Reflection, journaling. They want, so for this is for this specific person. Anyone listening, just resonate. If this resonates, take it. They want you to write out your whole experience with this person and everything you learned in this experience with this person. Because there's something missing, or like there's something there that you're missing that they want you to connect the dots on. And there was a lot of releases there. I don't know if you saw them. Probably didn't. Hopefully you didn't hear them. But yes, I hope that helps there. Why does your subconscious choose symbols that need interpretation? This is a great question because this happens in channeling all the time too. It's because the spirit guides, your intuition, sometimes your intuition, but we'll just say half your intuition, your angels, all of that, they don't speak English. They speak English, but they don't speak grammatically correct English. They don't understand sentences. That's why, like right now, I'm translating Laura. With channeling, you'll hear people pause a lot. It's because they have to translate all these random freaking symbols and colors and blah blah into human words. So that's all. They do not speak grammatically correct English. Honestly, that is the answer. How can you tell the difference between a precognitive dream, guys, again with these words, how can you tell the difference between a precognitive dream and a regular dream? I gotta Google this again. Of just what that means. A dream that seemingly includes knowledge about the future, which cannot be inferred or actually from actually available information. So it's kind of like a psychic dream, right? Like a vision almost. So my question for you individually is, can you channel? That is the first question. So I'm under the assumption that you can channel. I'll answer this in two different ways. Under the assumption that you can channel, whether you're a beginner at it or if you're more, I don't want to say experienced, but if you have more years under your belt with it, you'll know that it's a different voice. Channeling and your intuition are really two different voices. So I'd be curious about that. But if you can't channel, ask the universe. Guys, you have the universe at your disposal. Was that a precognitive dream or was that a regular dream? Show me a sign, universe. I'm curious. I'm curious about this. I'm overthinking it. I'm getting anxiety about it. I'm really worried about it. Whatever the situation may be, show me a sign. That is how you be a co-creator in this relationship that you already have with your source, universe, God, whomever. You can ask them for clarity around these things. Show me a sign. Show me this if it's a precognitive dream. Show me this if it's a regular dream. That's all. So that would be my advice for you. This person said, my dreams are random. How can I decipher what message is being sent? It's a doozy, guys. There's no easy answer. Oh, how do I want to say this? There is an easy answer, but it's not first nature for us humans. So let me just figure out how to word what they're saying here. To them, it's simple, right? To Laura, it's simple. And I'm really bringing in the human experience. To Laura, it's meditate on it. Just get in a really deep state of meditation and ask. Not everyone can do that. It's a skill. That is a skill. And that's not easy for everyone. If that is easy for you, please do that. But otherwise, you have to just do it in baby steps. Universe, I keep seeing this triangle. Can you be a little bit more clear with what this triangle means to me? And stay present enough to receive the sign. So 2 answers, doing that or meditation if that works for you. Or before you fall asleep, they're saying, here's a yawn. Before you fall asleep, oh my Lord, ask the universe to just send you a very clear dream about what all this means. It's funny because Laura's like, so much of these questions, you guys, really come down to you asking them, which is you asking yourselves. It's so easy to just look at everyone else and be like, oh, help me translate this, help me translate that. But Laura's mission and my mission is to help you all find these answers on your own, right? So use your team. You have your team at your disposal. Guys, send me a clear dream. I recognize that there's a message in this. I'm struggling to understand it. How can you make this more clear for me? What do you need from me to be able to translate this in a grammatically correct way where I can consciously understand it? Ask them. You can do that through just laying in bed, closing your eyes, and going with the first answer that comes to you. All right, so repeating people in dreams when you haven't seen them in 10 plus years, but you talk and have always felt a deep soul connection. That's really beautiful. So souls are the coolest things, the coolest freaking things. It's what I communicate with all the time. Laura, souls, when I'm channeling you guys, so many things. Souls will come visit you in your dreams. So I'm going to talk about this for a moment. This was my trigger warning from the beginning. So if you guys are not comfortable hearing this, then please, please, please exit out now. Okay. When somebody has crossed over and you see them in your dream, that is them communicating with you. That's their way of getting into your channel. Because when your subconscious is activated, you're an open channel. So with this person, maybe it was a partner and you guys split, and that split in the human experience feels good, but your souls could be very connected, which means your souls could be very active together, which means this person's soul is going to come visit you in a dream. Now, if you feel called in the human experience to reach out to this person, I would encourage you to do that. If it feels good. If it doesn't, then don't. But if their soul is just actively trying to communicate with you. So this could go to the question a few questions ago about what does it mean to have recurring dreams about exes and the soul contract and all that. But in this instance, it feels a little different where this soul is trying to communicate with you. So try to take, there was another release for you. Try to take note of what this person or soul is saying. And in the human realm, does it make sense for me to reach out to this person? If not, then do not. But if it does, then do so. And if not, just know that their soul is just communicating with you. Their soul is with you. Even if maybe it wasn't a pleasant human experience, their soul is going to be very pleasant and is going to be with you and is trying to communicate with you. I hope that was helpful. This person said, I can't wait for this one. I'm so glad. I hope you enjoy it. I love doing these so much. Last question. How can I remember the good dreams? I tend to only wake up and remember the bad dreams. Really good question. Let's ask Laura. Recognize the purpose between the two, is what Laura's saying. So, yawn. With the bad dreams and the scary ones, they're serving you because they're trying to bring something to your conscious mind that's stuck in your subconscious, number one. So ground in that. And if you find that there's more bad dreams than good dreams, it just means that you have a very, very, very overactive subconscious right now that needs nurturing. You can nurture it through so many different ways. Breath work, meditation, walking meditation, my freaking favorite. Yoga, movement, somatic work, hypnotherapy, therapy, EFT tapping, so many, coloring, painting, so many different realms. But your subconscious needs your attention if you keep having bad dreams, for its own nurturing and for you to acknowledge what it's bringing up to the surface. Now, that's for bad. How do we bring in the good? Ask for more good ones. They say open yourself up to receive more good dreams. So before you fall asleep tonight, I'm going to encourage you to say, universe, I'm ready for a really pleasant dream. I'm open and I'm ready to receive a very pleasant dream. Could you please send that my way? And see what comes forward. So that's all the questions. Now let me see if there's anything that I can include as just from what I see from a channeling realm. A lot of the times when I channel, guys, your subconscious, everything I connect to, I feel like I connect to friggin' 900 things, but they will show me your dreams. If there is a specific person who has crossed over, who has been trying to visit you and communicate with you, they will show me a dream they've sent to you. Sent is the best way I can describe it, but there's release. They've sent to you to try to get your attention. So dreams are a very special thing. But if you find that you're having just incredibly vivid ones, obviously from the human realm, that can be a scientific thing. Like if you're ever pregnant, if you ever choose to be, you may have very vivid dreams. That's usually like a dead giveaway that you're pregnant. Or if you're very stressed, you're going to have very vivid dreams. If you're an open channel like myself, you may have very vivid dreams. If you can channel and you don't realize, you're going to have very vivid dreams. But all that to say, it just means that your subconscious is trying to communicate with you throughout the day, but you're too wired to not present. You're everything else but present, that the only time it can communicate with you is at night. And that can be really disruptive because we're humans and we need sleep. So try to do some sort of self-care before bed. It looks different for everyone. But even if you could do a 5-minute YouTube meditation on the TV before you fall asleep, or affirmations, or just something to help calm your system and give that subconscious a little bit of nurturing, the crazy dreams, the intense dreams will likely go away. But again, if you keep having a dream that seems to have a common theme, like safety or lack or scarcity or fear, it's trying to bring something up to the surface for you to release. I can't communicate in human words how the universe is just constantly trying to get you to clear out things that do not work for you. And they do this in 1,000 different ways. But it's because you're such a natural manifester, you're such an active manifester, they know what you want. And they know what it takes to get there. But as humans, if it's not black and white, we don't do it. We freak, right? Because it doesn't, we spiral. So it's trying to clear the way for you. And in this instance, specifically just through the theme we're talking about today, it's doing it through dreams. Your dreams are really, really, really important. But again, if they are scary and wild, they likely are not literal. The good ones are probably very likely literal. And you will know. And I know it can be very jarring to wake up from a nightmare or it's just something terrible that you've seen. But instead of looking at it literally, ask yourself, what was the theme in this? And what is this trying to bring up for me? I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any more questions around dreams, let me know. I can always do a part 2. But I love you guys so much. Really, really grateful for you tuning in and listening. And anything I can do, you guys just let me know. I'll talk to you next week.